€700. That is what this bike cost me to build. Well, that's not entirely true. I did replace these Franken brakes that I bodged together with this tasty set of MT Trail Sports, and that set me back an extra €155. Okay, so it was €855, and for that price you do get an awfully tiny set of wheels.
Yeah, let's not.
Before we get too deep into this video, there are a couple of disclaimers that I'd like to make. Firstly, I did have quite a lot of the bits and pieces that I used for this build lying around inside my spare bin. I had the wheels, the fork, the drivetrain, a couple of other odds and ends like the bars and grips and whatnot. So the 850 really won't be for everyone. And secondly, a vast amount of money that I spent on this bike went straight into that frame. But it is a glorious thing. The frame is the Production Privee Shan, which is built around a 27.5-inch wheel with the option of replacing the rear dropouts to accommodate the 26-inch wheel, which is what I did. These dropouts were around about €50, and I'm not entirely sure if Production Privee still does them, so there's that to consider. The important numbers around the bike are very much in the zone as far as geometry goes. Wheelbase is 1169 millimeters. The bottom bracket has a 30 millimeter drop. The head tube angle sits at 66 degrees with a reach of 437 millimeters. After you've swapped out the dropout to accommodate the 26-inch wheel, you're left with a 420 millimeter chainstay length. And of course, those numbers are for a size large frame with a 150 millimeter fork, and not for the monstrosity that I have strapped onto the front of this bike. So my numbers are obviously going to be a little bit different to those.
Oh, let's do the rocks. Up, up, and down. Oh, nice. Looking like a bit more chunky hoops down here. Roll, buddy, roll, roll, roll. Yeah. Whoop. Oh, God.
So, the frame is made from a triple-butted, heat-treated 4130 chromoly with optimized diameter. TDLR steel. And the rear triangle has these really sweet dorsiventrally flattened chain and seat stays, which, according to Production Privee, allows a slight vertical flex while maintaining an optimal level of lateral rigidity. The result? Better comfort as well as more cornering and braking grip. Now normally I would say something like insert marketing bullshit here in some sarcastic and or derogatory fashion, but in this case it's just true. So how much does it weigh, I hear you ask? Well, the answer to that is very simple, and it is 1 metric fuckton, and 98.3% of that weight is taken up by the fork. 35mm stanchions, coil of course, beginning of stroke rebound, end of stroke rebound, compression damping, an open bath damper system lovingly soaked by 150 milliliters of oil, service intervals that can be measured in decades. And just to top off the Italian levels of design excellence, this bike also has air chambers. Yes, chambers, as in 2 of them. That paired with the 2 coils that this fork has, I don't really understand what Miyazaki was thinking. Maybe they were thinking only fat asses were going to own this. Sorry, Clydesdales. Or perhaps that this fork was designed to withstand rampage level drops. Neither of which applied to me. So, apart from the MT Trail Sports brakes, this bike has pretty much your bog standard part spin build. It's got a Roval front wheel, a Mavic rear wheel, it's got an NX 10-speed mech paired with an X7 clicker and a set of cranks that probably fell off the arc. The bike climbs as you'd expect a heavy ass hardtail to climb. The front end does get a little bit pushy on tight climbing switchbacks, but if you know that's going to happen, you can compensate for it. It loves the steeps as well as super chunky trails, and it also loves to run on a bit.
Pedals here.
What it doesn't like though is long extended sections of trail chatter and chunk. Now I know that means something slightly different to everybody, so here's a little section of video as to what I'm talking about.
This is exactly not the kind of trail where a hardtail excels. A little hop to get the back over.
It's not to say that sections like this won't be fun. They're just not going to be as fast and considerably less comfortable. Despite all of that, this is still my go-to bike for anything adventure related. It's just more fun. Look, it's still a hardtail, so you're not going to be able to monster truck the roughs. But if you just want to get out, ride your bike, and have a laugh, it's not too much going to be beating this. Simple, reliable, proven parts, all of which comes together to form one beast of a bike. And it is a stupidly fun bike to ride.